Let me tell you something. A lot of people won't like this video, and in fact, I expect to get all sorts of comments calling me a fool, an idiot, an imbecile, and so on. But in this video, I want to tell you things from a completely objective point of view. I'm not taking sides. In fact, we're talking about Pioneer versus Venom. You can't get a Pioneer compact for less than $2,000, whereas for example, with a Prime 4 Plus with improved cables, and believe me, the features are much more numerous in a Denon compact than in a Pioneer. On the other hand, Pioneer, well, watch the video. So guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm making this video because I found myself getting bombarded with insults after making a comment that, in my opinion, is nothing but the plain truth about an issue that's, well, the same old issue as always. Denon or Pioneer? Pioneer or Denon? In this video, we're settling the score and figuring out in which situations one console or one console brand might be better than the other. Welcome to my channel. I wanted to let you know that to make this video, I did a lot of research, both online and with the impartial help of ChatGPT, which really helped me dig through the internet and see what people think. And honestly, their opinions about the difference between Pioneer and Denon completely match my own. Let's start right away by talking about the history and background of these two brands that make DJ consoles. Pioneer, now commonly known as Alpha Theta, has historically been the standard in clubs and festivals. You will never find equipment that's different from Pioneer, except in rare cases with some DJs, without naming names, but for example, Tiesto, who is literally sponsored by Denon and uses Denon consoles because he gets paid a ton of money to put Denon in a good light. That said, and without taking anything away from this brand, Denon makes fantastic products at a fraction of the price compared to its competitor Pioneer. There are some caveats though, We'll get to those in a bit, but for now let's continue with the history and background of these two consoles. When it comes down to it, the Pioneer CDJ series is everywhere, and it is used mainly in professional settings, literally seen as today's benchmark for anyone who needs to be cloud ready. Denon, on the other hand, presents itself as an alternative and, above all, innovative player. I absolutely do not question the fact that Denon is doing amazing things at incredibly low prices. Powerful processors, the integration of a touchscreen display on their consoles, advanced features like dual audio output, the integration of an SSD inside the compact unit or the CDJ itself, as well as audio streaming, all innovations from Denon. Certainly, in recent years, with the SC6000, the Prime 4, or the Prime 4 Plus, Denon has really gained a lot of ground. Now let's move on to design and physical construction. Every Pioneer product, of course we're talking about top-tier products here, not controllers that cost 200, 400, or 600 euros, but things like the CDJ 2000, 3000, and so on. The same goes for Denon. The build quality of a Pioneer product, and guys, don't take it the wrong way, but it's miles ahead. Even just the responsiveness you get from the controls on a Pioneer CDJ or a Pioneer compact unit, there's no comparison with any Denon product. It's no coincidence that it's a professional product used in clubs all over the world. On the other hand, Denon, especially with the SC6000, which is a truly solid and high-performing CDJ and comes at a ridiculously low price compared to its Pioneer competitor, is often praised for its touchscreen, for example, and for the large control surface it offers. Some users actually prefer its interface. Denon or Engine DJ Denon software is preferred for certain operations, like managing the library or triggering certain effects or samples, and so on. Many user reviews that are available online frequently praise one particular brand over another based entirely on their own individual workflow and personal preferences. Therefore, we cannot truly consider these to be objective reviews, but rather highly subjective ones that are heavily dependent upon your unique and personal style. So it comes back to what we just said. Speaking specifically of workflow and the interface between the user and the machine, we can say that Pioneer, after more than 15 years in clubs, now has a well-established workflow with RekordBox, Pioneer's proprietary software, or Alpha Theta. This ensures a consistent experience between the studio and the club, and many features are also designed for integration with Pioneer's own mixer, making it a sort of ecosystem. We could almost say that Pioneer and Denon are a bit like Apple and Android, but we'll get to that later. On the other hand, Denon really focuses on innovation. Thousands of features, thousands of buttons, and thousands of extra things that, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to say, but they don't always do good. Despite Denon DJ's very dynamic interface, support for stands, and the ability to play high-quality streaming tracks from Bitport or even just Spotify in lossless mode, in a professional context, Denon unfortunately still lags a step behind. Let's briefly touch on the practical features. Let's say that both platforms have excellent algorithms. Some opinions found online mention that the time stretching, Denon's algorithm, and the display, in short, the grid and how the track is visualized, are done excellently on the CDJ compared to Pioneer, which perhaps lags a bit behind from a visual standpoint, user experience, or even customization. On the other hand, Pioneer is often praised for the responsiveness of the machine itself, from the jog wheel to the Q&A buttons, and above all, and this is the most important thing of all, for the stability of the product itself. A Pioneer machine. It is really difficult for it to freeze during a live set, and this is basically the reason why you find the Pioneer brand in clubs and not Venom. Because believe me guys, I organize events and I know a lot of club owners, and I can tell you one thing, wherever it's possible to save money, they will. But when it comes to the console, to the equipment the DJ needs, which is literally the soul of the party, literally the reason a club stays open, you just can't cut corners. And don't take it the wrong way guys, but that's just a fact. It's not that I'm pro-Pioneer or pro-Denon, it's just me, Manuel, who has gathered a whole range of global experiences along with my own personal experience, and I'm giving you my opinion, which you can agree with or not. It's not my problem, I'm just telling you how things are, guys. I'm sorry for the bluntness with which I'm telling you these things, but I know that most of you won't like this video because maybe you'll feel bad for having bought a Denon standalone. But guys, I mean, Denon is great, but it depends on the context. Now, in fact, let's talk a bit about the ecosystem and compatibility. Let's say that RekordBox, Pioneer's software, is very widespread and maintains compatibility with all clubs. Many services and features at the pro level revolve around RekordBox. On the other hand, Denon's Engine DJ software has seen exponential growth in recent years and now also offers conversions, imports, and integrations, although some DJs and users report the need to pay for a subscription in order to achieve perfect synchronization through their DAW view or their media library on PC and CDJ. Now let's talk about reliability of the two products. Pioneer obviously enjoys a very solid reputation in this regard within the club scene for its robustness and stability. Just think, I've played on CDJ 2000s that are something like 14 years old, 12 years old, something like that. They run basically like a Fiat 600. They start up on the first try. Let's say that the collective view in the DJ world is pretty clear. Pioneer is the standard and is used in clubs. Denon is like a kid who's growing up fast, basically. However, in recent times, Denon has significantly improved the stability of its software, and believe me, from personal experience, I've played with both Denon CDJs and Pioneer CDJs when it comes down to it, and it pains me to say this, but Denon is not stable software, or rather, it happened to me on 2 occasions when I used Denon consoles, and in one of those, the CDJ SC 6600 froze, guys. It literally froze. Luckily, the music was playing from somewhere else at that moment. Let me give you another example to explain the situation. Pioneer is like Apple, while Denon is like Android. Over the years, Pioneer has built its own ecosystem in which all the feedback from professional DJs and so on is integrated step by step as the brand evolves. Let me give you a simple example. I have a USB drive with my tracks analyzed by RekordBox, which I insert into my Pioneer CDJ, and within 5 to 6 seconds I'm ready to browse my library, select a track, load it onto the deck and start playing. But when I insert my USB drive, whether it's MP3 files, files analyzed by Engine, or even files analyzed by RekordBox itself into a Denon CDJ, it takes minutes, guys, literally minutes before I can access my tracks. So you can clearly understand that this is something that in a club or professional context, or even if it's not strictly professional, but in a club or festival setting, this just can't work. I can't wait 10 minutes for my USB stick to be read by a CDJ. On the other hand, there's a price difference. An SC 6000 costs around 600, 700, 800 euros, while you can't find a CDJ 3000 for less than 2,400 euros. It's true, the price is really inflated, especially because of the brand, but this price actually makes sense, and it's precisely because of this, reliability, being able to count on your equipment. So guys, to sum it all up, here's what I want to tell you. I'm not saying don't buy Denon out of some kind of disdain or anything like that, but for a simple reason. It depends on the context in which you need to use it. If you're playing at home, if you're the kind of DJ who does birthday parties or weddings, or if you're a DJ who brings your own gear to the club and so on. In that case, I strongly recommend buying Denon, not because of reliability or anything like that, but because you'll save a ton of money. But if you're a DJ who's aiming, pardon the expression, to do club gigs seriously, to become a resident or something like that, believe me, two CDJ 350s, which cost 300 to 400 euros used for the pair, are 1,000 times better than any modern Denon CDJ. First of all, because you learn to use a Pioneer CDJ with all the methods and functions specific to Pioneer. So when you find yourself in a club with a Pioneer console, you'll already know exactly what to do. On the other hand, Denon, for example, uses a different method just to save a cue point. So when you eventually end up on a Pioneer console, say the day you get called to play at a club, you'll have to spend some time figuring things out and so on. If you want a professional context, or if you're an event organizer like I am, you absolutely can't afford to have a DJ you invite to your event play on anything other than Pioneer products, because that's the industry standard. Then, if the DJ specifically requests it, you can come to an agreement. Maybe the DJ actually prefers Denon, so you rent that equipment and so on. But the reason I spent 2,000 euros to get my Pioneer XDJ RX3 is because I know that anyone I invite to play, let's say within a less professional circle or local friends and DJs from Turin, will be perfectly happy with the RX3. If I have to invite an artist, though, of course I'll rent a mixer, whether it's Pioneer or Allen & Heath plus CDJ 3000s, but always Pioneer. That said, guys, thanks for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments about the choice between Pioneer and, well, not Pioneer. Well, that's it. I hope I've been objective, guys. I don't want to take anything away from anyone. I just want to tell you things as they are. From an external point of view, meaning this isn't my personal opinion, because if I had to give you my own opinion, I'd just say go with Pioneer, period. But that's not my opinion, got it? If you're a DJ who, for example, does weddings or these kinds of parties, Denon is miles ahead. You have thousands more features. It's convenient. You can use streaming services. If the audience requests a song and you don't have it downloaded, you can stream it and play it live. I mean, that's really cool. From that point of view, in that context, for that type of DJ. But if you're a club DJ, it's Pioneer. End of story. Believe me or don't believe me. Give me a like, give me a dislike, insult me or praise me. That's just how things are. Thanks for watching this video, brother. And if you agree with me, subscribe to the channel and let me know with a nice cat on your shoulder. See you soon, bro.